$124 trillion dollars is about to change hands. That's more money moving in our economy in the next 25 years than has ever moved in the history of this country. And most families have no idea what's coming. So let's start with the number itself, $124 trillion. Dollars. That's the estimate from the research firms that are tracking intergenerational wealth transfer. And to put that in perspective, that is more than the entire GDP of the United States. And it's even more than the combined wealth of every Fortune 500 company, as it is the single largest redistribution of capital in human history that's going to hit our economy. So the question isn't whether the wealth transfer is happening. The question is whether your family is ready to handle it. So in this video, I'm going to share three pillars, the three things that recommend that you address if you want your family to be in the 20 to 30% that actually preserves their wealth across their generations. So, research from the Journal of Wealth Management found that 89% of families who experienced wealth transfer conflict never addressed the underlying family dynamics before the money changed hands. They focused on the tax implications and the legal structure, but ignored the relational foundation. So, as I said, there are three pillars to prepare and address. Pillar one is marriage stability. It is your foundation of everything that you do, your partner in life, your partner in transition. And if your marriage is fractured, or if you're not aligned in your values and vision for this next chapter, the wealth becomes a point of conflict instead of a tool for vision. So most couples have never had the conversation about what life looks like after the business transition, after the wealth transfer. They've been so busy building that they've never asked themselves the hard question, like, who are we when we're not building something? Pillar two, values clarity and next generation preparation. Your kids need to understand what your values actually are, not what you assume that they know. They need to hear it from you and understand it and have a space to ask questions and maybe disagree. They also need to be prepared emotionally, financially, and spiritually to handle the weight and the responsibility of wealth. This preparation for succession planning usually takes anywhere from 5 to 10 years. A study from the Family Firm Institute found that families who spent time discussing values and decision making frameworks before the wealth transfer experienced a 92% less post transfer conflict than families that didn't. That's incredible to me. And the third and final pillar is the strategic structure. Too many families lead out with the structure and ignore the foundation of the family. So only after you've addressed the relational foundation and prepared the next generation, then it makes sense to address the legal and the financial structure. Trust, entities, tax strategies are important, but they're not the first step. They are the last step. So I'd ask you this question today. Which of these three pillars do you feel the most unprepared in right now? Is it the marriage piece? Is it the values and the transfer and the next generation preparation, or the strategic structure? Let me know in the comments, because that's likely where we'd like to focus first. So if this is resonating with you, you don't have to have this all figured out today. It's taking you many years to create that wealth. But I do recommend you take one action right now. So having a conversation with your spouse, if that's the area that you feel the most exposed in, the most vulnerable. I often just recommend taking a vision retreat, getting alone somewhere for, a day or two, just to have a space for you to have that conversation. Maybe you need to talk to your financial advisor or estate attorney about whether your current plan addresses the relational values and the foundation, and not just the tax implications. And if they can't speak to that, you need to add someone to your advisory team who can. So the families that thrive and survive during this great wealth transfer don't start with lawyers and tax accountants. They start with clarity about their marriage, their family, their values, and their vision for the next generation. Everything else builds from there. So if this resonates with you and you'd like to continue this conversation about the great wealth transfer, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video.